Welcome to the Living Artist Podcast. I'm your host, Preston M. Smith. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Living Artist Podcast. I'm Preston M. Smith, at PMS Artwork everywhere on internet land and socials. I want to thank you for landing on this podcast. Whether you're a professional artist, just getting started in the art world, a collector of art, or just consider yourself a creative person, this podcast has something for you. I like to think of it as a fun way to rant and talk to other creative people about living the life of an artist, surviving and getting ahead in the art world, and enjoying your life. But most importantly, not waiting until you're dead to make it happen. All right, let's get started.
You are all energetic beings manifesting your own reality, living in the present moment, creating as you see fit a universe where you belong. More and more with each breath that you take, you are all co-creators of this reality.
Whoa, man. Far out, brother.
Welcome back to the Living Artist Podcast. I am your host, Preston Smith, as Eckhart Tolle. Oh boy. Welcome back, everybody. Let me just shake that off for a second. Shake it off! All right, we're back. So that was a little creepy and a little fun, but it's meant to kind of get you into that wavelength a bit. We're not really going to be talking so much about energy because we have talked about energy a lot, and I'm sure I will talk about energy in depth even more in the future. We're actually going to be talking more about removing the blocks in your life that are blocking your energy, your creative energy, your success energy, your momentum forward energy. And there's a lot of those blocks. And I think the most important thing, and hence the beginning here, is that it's important to realize that we are all creative beings. We all are actually creating our reality as we speak every single day. Every morning you wake up, you make a choice. Every day you're making little micro choices throughout the day of how you're going to behave, how you're going to act, what you're going to allow into your life, thoughts you're going to allow yourself to think, what thoughts are on repeat, and certain programming that you're allowing to take control of your life. All those things, all those fun things that are getting in the way, what other people are saying, what people you have attracted into your life, what people you allow to still be in your life that might not be serving you anymore. All of these things, all these factors, all this stimuli, if you will, we're going to talk about that. And, first of all, it starts with getting honest with yourself. I think that's the main thing. Being objective, being honest, having a kind of like wake up moment, a come to Jesus moment, if you will, with yourself, where you look at yourself in the mirror and start to realize certain patterns that you have, certain loops that you have going in your mind. Maybe you have some sort of like victim patterns going on. I talked to Warwick Saint the other day, and he was talking about victimizations. And I feel like we do a lot of that. I think we have a story in our heads a lot of like why we didn't achieve certain things. For example, I'll just use myself. I have done
very well in my career. I'm proud of myself, but I have hit a wall recently with some chronic pain, as you all know, and some of the stuff that has happened that has come back up into my life, which has made life very difficult for me. And it's really easy to get attached to that. It's really easy to be like a victim of that. Like, well, that's what I am. I suffer for chronic pain. That's why I'm not achieving what I want to achieve. This is why I can't do this. This is why I was held back, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's fine. That can happen for a while. And then it's just a matter of going like, look, am I going to allow this to take over my life? Am I going to allow this loop to keep going and keep saying, you can't achieve this because you have chronic pain, because you have certain things that are attached to certain things in your life that held you back? No, I choose to move forward. I choose to conquer this and do the things and feed my body and feed my mind and feed my thoughts with all the positive things that I can to disrupt that pattern in my brain and kind of start a new story, a story of health and wellness and achievement and moving forward with positivity and vibrant energy. That's what I want to do. So that's just using a personal example from me. Maybe you have something else like, I wasn't able to achieve this because I started too late, I'm too old, or, I never went to school, I never went to art school, never been able to find a mentor, or, I'm of this certain group that is not really getting a lot of attention in the art world, whatever. It can be any number of stories that you're allowing to play in your head, and all of these can hold you back. All of these, even if they're true on some level, which many of them are. Many of them at least start being true. And then it's just a matter of, are you going to allow yourself to keep going down the rabbit hole of this story and allow it to keep holding you back, and then build this kind of identity around this, which becomes cemented in your brain and the patterns of your brain. And then you start to really believe it, and it becomes a core identity that you have, which is like, I'm just the person who has this problem, and this is why I never achieved anything. And that's very seductive. A lot of people talk about that kind of stuff. Our buddy Eckhart Tolle talks about that kind of stuff. The ego identity, it's very, very seductive. It's like the person who has the horrible life. That can also be very seductive. It's like, nobody suffers quite as much as me. Your ego loves that. It just loves to sink its teeth into that. So we're going to disrupt those patterns. We're going to find ways to choose better thoughts, and we're going to choose ways to reprogram ourselves in the morning with gratitude or morning meditation practices or exercise or whatever it is that you choose to do. That's something that we can talk about in another podcast. But just be aware that that block might be there, and that might be holding you back. And that might be something that's playing out subconsciously throughout your day, and it's kind of stopping you from taking control of your life or making certain decisions that could be valuable or positive in your career. Look, the main thing I want to impress upon you today, which is actually very exciting, it's very empowering, is we have the ability to create and co-create, but let's just focus on creating. We have the ability to create our life day by day, moment by moment. We literally can conjure up opportunities out of thin air. It's almost like magic. You know what I mean? I was walking around today getting some steps in and just thinking like, how interesting, isn't it, that I'm sitting here in my studio/office and I'm just coming up with things that I can do and little paths that I can find to, I'm going to go this route today. I'm going to target this gallery, or I'm going to focus on social media here today, or I'm going to focus on this art marketplace, or I'm going to look for sponsorship here, or I'm going to think outside the box and do none of that. It's just very interesting that we have that ability to just, like magicians, conjure up our day and conjure up our own unique paths forward. And that, conversely, and interestingly enough, can be a block in and of itself. These routines that we get in, these habits, like let's say I decided 2 years ago that I'm going to get into this routine of getting up and, putting my stuff up on art marketplaces and getting on social media a certain way and marketing myself a certain way and blah, 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 blah. And this takes, maybe 4 hours out of my day. And I'm doing that consistently, and it's working for me, and it's great. And it's something that I came up with, and it's unique to me. And then all of a sudden, the momentum starts to die down a little bit. And maybe it's not working the same way, but I get too rigid in my routine and I go, you know what? I'm just going to just keep plowing forward with what I know that worked in the past, as we all know, the past does not equal the future. Sometimes you have to pivot. Sometimes you have to adapt. Sometimes just simply shaking yourself out of a pattern and trying something different, getting out of your headspace. I'm going to do this today. I'm not going to work at all today. I'm going to go to the beach today, or I'm going to decide to make a connection in a way that I've never made before. I'm going to be bold today and try this whole new marketing strategy that I've never tried before. I'm going to just meditate on this and see what comes to me. That can be amazing at removing blocks and starting new paths. It's very easy to get into a routine that starts to control ourselves. So we always have to be moving and adapting and changing. And it's very exciting because we can just keep creating a new path all the time. So that's both exciting and something that you need to pay attention to and, be wary of. Maybe the most difficult block out there is one of just the monotony of the day, the monotony of our lives moving forward. We can fall into patterns of depression and anxiety and complacency and malaise and all these things. We can just fall into them very easily. Like something that was exciting to you 4 years ago maybe isn't exciting to you anymore. And then we fall into this pattern of like, oh, you get up and maybe the energy isn't there today, or, oh, I'm hooked up on this thing that somebody said to me the other day and it starts my day off in a crappy way. Well, these things, these mindsets that we can fall into, these mind patterns that we can fall into, if you will, are extremely detrimental blocks. So one thing that you really need to do is pinpoint what you're feeling. Get really good, get your antenna up, get really good at figuring out how you're feeling, what's happening with you. Let's say it is some sort of malaise, right? Maybe you're just a little bit like, oh, this is just that you're caught up in the minutia and the boredom of what you're doing. And then you find yourself not getting up with that excitement that you had in the morning. Okay, well, maybe next morning you get up and you start a different practice. You lay in bed. This is something that I got from Dr. Joe Dispenza. He gets up in the morning and starts his meditation, and he will not allow himself to get out of it until he breaks that pattern, until he comes out with some sort of vibrant energy or focus for the day that he wants to create. And he says sometimes it takes him hours. Now, maybe you don't have hours to do, but maybe you can do this in 10 or 15 minutes. Maybe it's just as simple as intention setting in the morning, or a gratitude practice or something, just getting your mind straight, not just going directly for your phone, not just reaching over and checking your social media or turning on the TV, who knows what you do. But these things are a distraction, and these things are a way of reminding us of patterns that have affected us in the past that can just continue to affect us in the future moving forward. So break that pattern again, find a way of setting some new intentions and some new patterns first thing in the morning. That'll shake you up out of it. That'll shake you out of something old and get you into something new that might be exciting, that might spark that excitement again moving forward. Okay, now I've got a new thing that I'm excited about. And the thing about that that's interesting is it's so easy to not fall into a pattern of the malaise or the depression or the boredom or whatever, because you are creating this practice where you can almost create a new mindset each morning instead of just getting up like a robot and allowing old programming to just take over your day and launch you into your day without any sort of thought. It's like you're programmed to feel that way. This way, you can do it with intention. You can take some of that power back. You can take some of that control back and set your intention for the day, or set your energy for the day. Get your energy into this like frenzy or excitement. So you start your day off with this frenzy and excitement, and then it's just about maintaining that through the day. Certain things might knock you off that path, but you will get better. It's like exercising a muscle. You'll get better at navigating your way back onto that path and continuing that energy. And pretty soon you've got a new muscle that's propelling you forward and allowing you to start creating new and exciting other ideas and paths and creations. So this is all very exciting and important. And it's something that we all fall into as human beings. It's very easy to fall into patterns and negative patterns and blocks, and having people who come in and give us blocks, and having news coming in and giving us blocks. And basically you're fighting against all this noise to keep yourself excited and on a good energetic frequency for your day, so you can win your day, and then you can win your week, and then you can win your month. And I know this sounds like achievement, Gary Vaynerchuk. That's not what I mean. I don't mean just to achieve. I mean just to enjoy your life, to have that vibrancy of your life, to have that good energy, to have that positive energy that's going to propel you forward. And you know what? A healthy byproduct of that is that you will be successful, because you cannot not be successful if you are constantly living in that state of high energy and vibrancy and, creating your best day each day. That is going to have a momentum of its own, and you're going to look back after a month or two and just be like, oh my God, look at this. It all started with this choice in the morning, and then perpetuating that choice and keeping that momentum going. And it just led me to all these wonderful things. So I just wanted to talk about this today, a little friendly reminder that all of these decisions are at your fingertips. You are not a victim to anything that's happening in your life. You have the ability to take control of your mindset and take control of how you're starting and navigating your day. So let's get on that. If I were Tony Robbins, I would say, all right, everybody, get out your textbook now and flip to this. I would tell you to flip to this page and write down your intentions, write down your goals. Obviously, I'm not going to do that because I'm not an inspirational coach, but let this be a little seed that I've planted in your brain, and you can start working this out in your own life. Maybe start making some decisions that will impact your life moving forward in a positive way. So thanks for listening, everybody. Hopefully you have gotten a chance to listen to my last interview with Warwick Saint. It was a very fun and engaging and exciting interview. He's got a breadth of knowledge and experience, and it's something that I think is very valuable for anybody to listen to. If you're an artist, or you're trying to be an artist, or you want to know what success looks like, go back and listen to that. And hopefully you will start implementing some of these things in your own life and get on a really good path, a really good energetic path. Thanks for listening, everybody. Be good to yourself, be good to everybody else out there, and we'll see you next time.
Excuse me. Have you forgotten that I am still here? It is of no importance that you've forgotten, for I am truly in the present moment and can sit here much longer than you. Therefore, go on with your day, and I will remain here in silence and stillness. Good day to you.
This has been the Living Artist Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. I just want you to know that I appreciate you being here, and I'm grateful to be in your ears. Your art and creative life on this planet is meaningful, so thank you for sharing it with me. If you like this podcast, whatever platform you're listening to it on, please subscribe and share it with your friends. You can also leave me a positive review to show your support. This helps me to reach more people with the algorithmic magic and keep the show going strong. If you want to see more of what I do and check out the art that I create, you can visit my website at www.pmsartwork.com or follow me on social media everywhere at PMS Artwork. That's it for now. See you back here next time.